The acceptance letter sat on our kitchen table like a grenade with the pin pulled. My twin sister Meredith held it up to the light, her perfectly manicured nails catching the afternoon sun streaming through our apartment window. "There must be some mistake," she said, though her voice carried that particular tone I'd learned to recognize over 22 years. The one that meant she was already 3 steps ahead of everyone else in the room. I reached for the letter, but she pulled it back, pressing it against her chest. "It's addressed to M. Hartley. That could be either of us." "It's from Rothberg Institute," I said, my voice sharper than intended. "You didn't even apply there." She tilted her head, considering me with those green eyes we shared. Identical in color, but never in intent. "How do you know what I applied for?" "Because I'd spent 4 years building a portfolio that would get me into Rothberg's prestigious computer science program. Because I'd coded until my eyes burned, built applications that caught the attention of professors, won hackathons while she was winning beauty pageants. Because this was my dream, not hers." "Give me the letter, Meredith." She stood up, smoothing down her designer dress, a gift from our last boyfriend, though I'd been the one he'd asked out first. "You know what? I think I'll call them. Clear up this confusion." I watched her dial the admissions office, my stomach turning to ice as she introduced herself. "Yes, this is M. Hartley. I received an acceptance letter, but I wanted to confirm some details about my enrollment." Her performance was flawless. She nodded along, made appropriate sounds of excitement, even shed a perfectly timed tear when they apparently confirmed the full-ride scholarship. The Rothberg Excellence Award. The one that included not just tuition but housing, meals, and a generous stipend for research projects. When she hung up, her smile could have powered a small city. "Looks like I'm going to Rothberg. You can't be serious." My hands shook as I pulled out my laptop, frantically checking my email, my application portal, anything that might explain how this had happened. "This is fraud. Identity theft. I'll call them myself." "And tell them what?" She leaned against the counter, studying me with the calculating look she usually reserved for deciding which outfit would photograph better. "That your twin sister stole your acceptance?" They confirmed everything on the phone. My social security number, my transcript, my outstanding portfolio of coding projects. She paused, savoring the moment. Apparently, my essay about using technology to bridge socioeconomic gaps was particularly moving. That was my essay. I'd spent weeks perfecting it, drawing on our childhood in the foster system, how coding had become my escape, my ladder out. How I wanted to create applications that could help kids like us find resources, mentors, hope. "How?" The word came out as a whisper. She shrugged, but I saw the flash of satisfaction in her eyes. "Remember when you had the flu last month? You asked me to submit your applications for you. Gave me all your passwords." She examined her nails again. "I may have made a few adjustments. Changed the contact information. Swapped our social security numbers on the forms. They're only 1 digit apart anyway. Updated the email addresses so the confirmations came to me. But the transcripts. We took enough of the same Gen EDS freshman year. And it's amazing what you can do with PDF editing software these days. Your computer science grades became mine. My business administration grades became yours." She pulled out her phone, showing me an email inbox I didn't recognize. "I've been very diligent about maintaining correspondence. Even did a phone interview last month. Did you know I have a passion for machine learning?" The room spun. For years of work evaporated. "You don't even know what machine learning is." "I do now. YouTube is very educational." She pushed off from the counter, moving toward her room. "I should start packing. Orientation is in 3 weeks." I grabbed her arm. "Meredith, please. This isn't like stealing my prom date or taking credit for my biology project. This is my future." For a moment, something flickered across her face. Regret? Doubt. But it vanished as quickly as it appeared. "You're smart, Morgan. You'll figure something out. You always do. I can't afford college without that scholarship. You know that. Then maybe you should have made sure you were the only M. Hartley applying." She pulled free from my grip. "Besides, how is this different from any other time? You've always been the smart one, the talented one, the one with the bright future. Maybe it's my turn." "Your turn? You can't code. You don't even like technology. I like what it can do for me." She paused in her doorway. "And I'm a quick learner. How hard can it be?" The next 3 weeks passed in a blur of desperate phone calls and emails. I tried reaching the admissions office, but without access to the email account Meredith had used, I couldn't verify my identity. She'd been thorough. even intercepting the physical mail that had come to our apartment. I thought about going to the police, but what evidence did I have? We were identical twins. She hadn't technically stolen my identity. She'd just borrowed it, blurred the lines between where I ended and she began. I watched her prepare for my dream with the same meticulous attention she applied to everything else. She bought books on coding, watched tutorials, even hired a tutor with money she'd saved from her modeling gigs. It was like watching someone prepare for a role, method acting her way into becoming me. You won't be able to fake it, I told her the night before she left. The professors will know. The other students will know. She zipped up her suitcase, new, expensive, nothing like the battered hand-me-down I would have used. People see what they expect to see. And they'll expect to see a brilliant young woman who deserves to be there. What about when they ask you to actually code something? I'll manage. She smiled, but I caught the flicker of uncertainty. Besides, how much coding can they really expect in the first few weeks? I'll catch up. She left the next morning in an Uber, not wanting our beat-up car to be her first impression on campus. I stood at the window, watching her disappear with my future tucked neatly in her designer luggage. For 2 weeks, I heard nothing. I'd started applying to community colleges, looking for jobs that might help me save enough for even a single class. I'd moved through the stages of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, but couldn't quite reach acceptance. How do you accept someone stealing your life? Then, on a Thursday afternoon, my phone rang. Unknown number, but the area code was familiar. Rothberg. Hello, is this Morgan Hartley? The voice was professional, clipped. Yes, I said, my heart hammering. This is Dean Richardson from the Rothberg Institute. I'm calling about a rather unusual situation regarding your sister. I sank onto our threadbare couch. What kind of situation? Well, as you may know, recipients of the Rothberg Excellence Award are required to participate in a technical interview with the scholarship committee. It's typically a formality, a chance for our donors to meet the exceptional students they're supporting. My mouth went dry. Anne, your sister's interview was concerning. She was unable to answer even the most basic technical questions. When asked to explain any of the projects from her portfolio, she couldn't provide any meaningful details. One of our professors recognized the work. He'd actually seen it presented at a hackathon last year, by someone who looked exactly like the young woman in front of us, but who clearly had a completely different depth of knowledge. I closed my eyes. I see. Miss Hartley, I'm going to ask you a direct question, and I need an honest answer. Did you apply to Rothberg Institute this year? Yes. And did you submit a portfolio of coding projects, including an application called Foster Connect, designed to help children in the foster system access resources? Yes. My voice was barely a whisper. There was a long pause. Would you be able to come to campus tomorrow? I think we need to have a longer conversation. I don't have a car that would make it that far. We'll arrange transportation. Can you be ready by 8 a.m.? The ride to Rothberg was surreal. The driver the school sent was professional, silent, giving me 4 hours to stare out the window and wonder what waited for me. Was I in trouble? Was Meredith? Had I lost my chance not just at Rothberg, but at any university once word got out? Dean Richardson's office was exactly what I'd imagined, with paneling, leather-bound books, diplomas and awards covering the walls. But the man himself was younger than expected, with kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. Please sit, he said, gesturing to a chair across from his desk. Would you like some water? Coffee. I'm fine, I lied. He studied me for a moment. Your sister is in the conference room next door with our legal counsel and the scholarship committee. She's been quite creative in her explanations. I'm sorry, I said. I had no idea she would. He held up a hand. Perhaps you should start from the beginning. So I did. I told him everything, our childhood, our different paths, how I discovered coding and fell in love with the logic of it, the beauty of creating something from nothing. I explained about the flu, the passwords, the trust I'd had in my twin. I showed him my real portfolio on my laptop, walked him through the code, explained my vision for each project. This is impressive work, he said, clicking through my GitHub repositories. The Foster Connect application in particular, the algorithm you developed for matching children with resources based on geographic location and specific needs, is quite sophisticated. It's still in beta, I said. I was hoping to refine it with access to better resources. Maybe partner with actual foster care agencies to test it properly. He leaned back in his chair. Miss Hartley, Morgan, what your sister did was serious. We're looking at potential fraud charges, though the complexity of your situation as identical twins makes it legally murky. She's offered to leave voluntarily if we don't pursue criminal action. I don't want her to go to jail, I said quickly. She's my sister. She gets lost sometimes. Confused about what she wants versus what I have. That's very generous of you. He pulled out a folder. Here's what I'm prepared to offer. The scholarship committee is willing to transfer the Rothberg Excellence Award to its rightful recipient, you. You would start immediately, join the current freshman class. We'll provide additional tutoring to help you catch up on the 3 weeks you've missed. The room blurred. I blinked hard, refusing to cry. Really? Your work speaks for itself. And frankly, your story, the real one, aligns perfectly with what the Rothberg Excellence Award was designed to support. Students who overcome significant obstacles to pursue their passion for technology. What about Meredith? His expression hardened slightly. She'll need to find her own path. One that doesn't involve impersonating others. An hour later, I found myself in the conference room facing my twin. She looked smaller somehow, her perfect posture deflated. The committee filed out, leaving us alone. They want me to leave, she said. I know. Are you going to take it? The scholarship? Yes. She nodded, staring at her hands. I lasted 2 weeks. 2 weeks before they figured it out. You know what gave me away? Besides the interview. I waited. I cried in my data structures class. Actually cried when I saw the first assignment. The professor thought I was having a breakdown. She laughed, but it was hollow. I've never felt so stupid in my life. You're not stupid, I said. You're just not a programmer. I'm not anything. The words came out sharp, bitter. Do you know what it's like? Being the pretty twin? Everyone assumes that's all I am, all I'll ever be. I thought if I could take this, prove I could do what you do. That's not how it works. I sat down across from her. You can't just put on someone else's achievements like a costume. I spent years learning this stuff. Failing and trying again. You want to be something more than the pretty twin? Then find your thing. Work for it. Earn it. She met my eyes. I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix anything, but I am. I was so jealous of how certain you always were, how you always knew exactly who you wanted to be. I'm not pressing charges, I said. Dean Richardson said you can leave quietly, no record of this. Start fresh somewhere else. As myself this time. She managed a weak smile. Meredith Hartley, currently undeclared. We left the conference room together but parted in the hallway. Her to pack up the room that should have been mine, me to meet with the housing department about my actual assignment. As I watched her walk away, I felt the strange doubling sensation that had defined our lives. The push and pull of being identical but opposite, connected but separate. That evening, I sat in my new dorm room, small, simple, perfect, and opened my laptop. The welcome email from Rothberg glowed on the screen, addressed to Morgan Hartley. No ambiguity, no confusion. Just me. My roommate, a cheerful girl named Priya, poked her head in. Hey, you're the new transfer, right? Want to grab dinner? Fair warning, there's a coding club meeting after that I'm totally dragging you to. I smiled, closing my laptop. That sounds perfect. As we walked across campus, Priya chattering about professors and classes, and which dining hall had the best coffee, I felt something settle into place. This was where I belonged. Not because I'd stolen it or borrowed it or pretended my way into it, but because I'd earned it. Every line of code, every late night, every problem solved and bug fixed. My phone buzzed. A text from Meredith. Made it home. Mom says hi. Good luck tomorrow. For what it's worth, I think they're lucky to have you. The real you. I tucked the phone away and followed Priya into the dining hall, ready to begin the life I'd built for myself, one keystroke at a time.